Afternoon. This is Christian from Target Trade Group, and this is your end of day market recap for Wednesday, October 29th. What a busy day. What a busy week for the market. I'm going to start with probably come out this video today from two different aspects. Number one, earnings. We're getting a ton of earnings, and I'll go over some of the earnings reports that just hit the tape with Google, Microsoft, and Meta. Reminder, by the way, for Microsoft is we don't get the earnings guidance until the conference call, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, and then I'll kind of talk a little bit about Powell and what he had to say, and really what the market reaction was, which is the most important thing. Let me just bring up just a couple observations that I would say first. And I just need to switch the screen here. So bear with me just a second. And then we'll talk about a little bit about market breadth. So obviously a lot of things to kind of go over. So let me bring up this Bloomberg screen, which is just the performance of some of the biggest movers. And this is kind of what we've been seeing so far for earnings season. You've got some really nice earnings reports that came out. Look at Flowserve. It's probably a name that people don't talk too much about. The name was up 30%. There are some very big earnings moves that are taking place. Look at Caterpillar. I think they said that this was the biggest one-day move for Caterpillar since 2009. I mean, that's a huge move. Look at the pin action in Western Digital today. STX had earnings. That group has been super strong. Took a little bit of a breather, and STX comes out and had a great report and caused a lot of these names to kind of get going again. Look at SanDisk was up 16%. So you're seeing a lot of these big gainers for the day were either the results from actual earnings report, or someone in their group had a good earnings report. And also, oh, here's STX right here, up 9. For some reason, I didn't see it, but that was the third best performer today. And these are just large cap names, by the way. I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty of the smaller cap names, but you've got some dynamite earnings reports that are coming. That came out today. BE was another one, up 18% after just already a huge move in that stock. Now, of course, there's some casualties too. FI was down 44%. Veronis, I think, was that right? Was that down 48% today? That's a huge move if that's right. And Stride was down. Just bring up the chart. I didn't see the VRNS, but yeah, sure enough, that's a big miss there. So you're getting both of these. You're getting some really strong reports, and the weak reports are also getting punished as well. So let's go back to, and we'll talk a little bit about Powell here. I want to just bring up, let's see if I can, Bloomberg will allow me to do this, or I want to bring up the Fed Fund futures. There was an odd kind of pricing that I thought for Fed Fund futures. So they did cut interest rates today by 25 basis points, which was well telegraphed and expected. But really, it's in the press conference is always the most important thing of the day in terms of what Powell's going to say about the future path of rate. For the future path of interest rate, as well as what they think that they're seeing with inflation and et cetera. But he mentioned that December is there's no trying to think of what he exactly said. His statement said, but there's no guarantee, I guess, of them cutting interest rates. Hence, this dropped from I think it was about a 94% odds that they're going to cut interest rate in December. This dropped all the way down to 68%. So market kind of fluctuated quite a bit on that. What I thought was really interesting too. Let me just go back to my spreadsheet now. And I thought there was interesting move in interest rates today. And again, this is on the long end of the curve. Remember, the Fed only controls the overnight uh, interest rate, which is super short term. They don't control any of the 10-year, the rate that's tied to the TLT, which is plus 20-year. So notice what happened there. TLT really got hit pretty hard today. It was down 1%. And you notice that things like the home builders really got hit hard today. That group was down 3% today. Small caps also, when you've got a fast move in interest rates, that will affect small caps usually. And they were down 0.8 of a percentage point today. Micro caps were down 1.2%. So the market we continue to see what's called bad breath. Why that's important is it's just a measure of how many stocks are going up versus going down. I have another spreadsheet here which does measure. I take a look, and this is in my midday note, which if you're subscribed to the midday note on Substack, you know what I'm referring to. But look at all the names today that are creeping up on the 4 week new low list. The new low list is really starting to accelerate, where there's a lot more things that are going down versus going up. And I think a lot of people are talking about too. Go back. We can go to the charts. What the average stock is doing right now, because it's being masked by what NVIDIA has been doing, which has been super strong, breaking out. But here's the RSP. I wouldn't say it's in full breakdown mode, but I would say this is kind of a must watch for what the overall uh, Cleveland Cliffs to offer 75 million shares. That just hit the tape. Um, but I think this is going to start getting interesting here if we do continue to break lower and break below that 50-day moving average. It just shows that there's more weakness under the hood than what you're seeing by some of the really big stocks right now in this market. For example, we know that Nvidia has been on a run, and like I said, we're seeing some good earnings reports. Let's talk about some of the names that reported after the close today. We'll start with Google. This is nice. Google already kind of ran. Has been up decently. Just to bring you back to that daily chart. This is a nice run into earnings that Google has seen, and that's nice to see this tack on another $20 here after hours. Meta. Well, let's go to Microsoft first. As I mentioned, Microsoft does not provide guidance until the earnings report. But I thought that their numbers were pretty good. It's just some of the expectations are super high, and if there's anything that's negative that's brought out about on this report, they're going to ding the stock for any of these names. There's just a lot of expectations. I think that's built into the stock price. So any miss, just like I was detailing. Um, with a couple of the names that really got hit hard on earnings. If you miss your earnings report, stocks are going to fall pretty decently. Here's also what Meta is doing now. Meta was kind of the weakest of the bunch, I thought, of the ones that I'm just going over right now. So this one, I think personally that the company they're spending too much. I feel like Meta's been through this before, when the company was known as Facebook. When they really ramp up their capex, um, uh, they've had a hard time translating that into profits. But that's just my take. A couple other so I'm just going to bring you through just a couple other charts that I think are of interest. Corning. We'll keep this video somewhat short today, even though there's a lot of information. And I really think too, and I'm going to leave you with a saying from Stan Druckenmiller too regarding this market. But here's Corning. We know all these optical names have been super strong. They had kind of a delayed reaction to their earnings report. They initially dropped. I don't know why they dropped on their earnings report. Maybe just the expectations were a little bit too high, but this was a buying opportunity yesterday on this drop, and this, giving a nice move to this whole group. So this has been one of the strongest groups out there. Look at Light, go up decently. Also, Sienna has been super strong, right? And then going back with what I was mentioning earlier in the video, STX had a big number, and they bring SanDisk out to new highs again. Western Digital, which is going to report after the close tomorrow, saw a big call buyer. It's going to be an interesting report tomorrow. Micron also getting in the act, a little bit lesser than the other companies just mentioned, but still out to a new 52-week high. Also, one other company I forgot to mention, ServiceNow. delivers again. They've been one of the strongest names. I do look at how a name previously reports the earnings, not the actual numbers, but what the price action is. And I think ServiceNow for the last 10 quarters, they've gone up 7 out of the last 10 quarters. They continue to kind of know how to set the bar in terms of their guidance. So once again, they're up. I did sell a put spread. That's what I usually do. Credit put spread, collecting premium. And as long as this thing stays above, what did I do this? I sold a 870, 850 put spread. So we'll see if that holds up. But right now, looking pretty good. Um, all right. Then I would say the last couple other stocks that I thought did really well today. Palantir breakout is active here. This is a name that I got long yesterday. This was one of my must-watch names. Focus charts from the weekend. I didn't go after it right on the first break. Waited till yesterday, and this delivered quite nicely. Um, for me. A couple other names I mentioned BE. Um, this will be interesting to watch going forward. If it kind of comes back in here and fills the gap, I would love to see that back at 115. Probably won't happen. For now, this is in a name in the TTG trend portfolio and has done pretty well. Speaking of the TTG trend portfolio, another one that did pretty well today was Canadian Solar. Notice it clipped that top of the value area, so the bullish 80% rule is complete, and that's going to be the barrier 1853. But still up 16%, even though a little bit of rejection there at the top of the value area. Pure Storage, I mentioned the STX. This is a little bit of a different company, but still, I think this is a very strong company too. I think this was the only thing that I added today. I like this little consolidation here, and there's your breakout. All right, guys, that is it. I know that there's a lot to cover right now in the market, but I think, trying to keep it simple. The quote that I was going to mention, let's see if I can find it very quickly. So Stan Druckenmiller, and I think in the environment that we're in, where breadth does not look particularly good, we're seeing more stocks go down versus go up. And one of his saying is, you can put all your eggs in one basket, and then watch that basket very carefully. So if I've toned down some of my positions the last couple days, um, and the reason being is because just noting what the breath is doing as the market goes higher. And then the positions that I have on, I'm going to be watching them pretty closely, or very carefully, as Stan Druckenmiller says. So I think that's a great quote to kind of think about right now. We know that we've got that we're going to be rounding the corner in October and getting into November, which is a strong seasonal month. And if we do get some type of a pullback, I think that will actually just reset things. That's been the story, like over the last couple months, is that every time that we get a little bit of a reset, where we get a bit of a small pullback, shallow pullback, which is what we've been getting over the last couple months, the market really likes that, and buyers jump off the sidelines and start buying. So that's what I would be paying attention to as we're getting extended up here and extended on lower participation. We get a check back, maybe back into the 20-day moving average. I think that would be a great place to be adding more money into this market. Until then, I'm treading carefully.